Welcome to the MSDW podcast. I'm Jason Gumpert, editor at msdynamicsworld.com. On this episode, we are talking vertical solutions built with Microsoft Dynamics 365, and in particular, we're talking about solutions for the banking and insurance industries. My guest is Wim Geukens, managing director of VeriPark Europe. Wim has written two recent articles for MSDW examining customer experience in the banking and insurance industries. VeriPark is a Microsoft partner that offers several industry-specific solutions atop Microsoft technology, and they were involved in the recently developed Banking Accelerator for the Common Data Model and for Dynamics 365. We discuss Wim's recent articles, some of the particular needs of the verticals that VeriPark serves, the Banking Accelerator, as well as some of the cutting-edge tech that VeriPark is looking at with Microsoft in areas like voice and facial recognition. Hi, Wim. Thanks for joining today. Welcome to the MSCW podcast.
Hi, Jason. Thanks for having me. It's awesome to be here.
And appreciate the recent article you wrote for us, which is really where I wanted to start because it really gives a place to start talking about a couple of the most interesting things, I think, in the Microsoft Partner Channel today. It's industry-specific solutions, and it's the I guess the design or the formulation of them, taking into account the very specific needs that they meet. And the article I'm talking about focused on omni-channel journey for insurers, and what I really enjoyed about that was the way it approaches the industry needs as well as some of the sort of conventional customer experience and customer service needs that probably anyone could relate to. So maybe I could just ask you to talk a little bit more about, what is, or maybe how do you define the omni-channel journey for insurers, and also maybe tell us a little bit more about VeriPark and about what VeriPark has developed for the insurance industry, and start with that.
Okay. So first of all, I'm happy to introduce VeriPark. So VeriPark is an ISV, a company that exists for 20 years, focusing exclusively on the financial services industry. So not just insurance, but also the banking industry. That means that we have people on board that worked in this industry. So they have been at the other side. So they know exactly what the market is asking for and what they're looking for. And they can also confirm that not many vendors are able to deliver solutions that really are industry specific. So as VeriPark, we selected Microsoft as our single platform vendor to build the solutions on top of that. So we are using the Dynamics platform, the Power Platform, to all the ways we could use it to build the solutions for the specific industry. And one of the missing pieces, let's say, out of the box from Microsoft is exactly what this omni-channel means. Because in a way, you could see omni-channel as presenting all the used channels in one single view of a customer. But that's not how we see it. We, as VeriPark, we have built our own omni-channel platform based on the Azure cloud, so that whatever the channel is, you can build this channel, whether it's a chatbot, whether it's a mobile app or an internet app, whether it's a speech app like Louis or Alexa or whatever technology. But then reusing the same platform, the same data, the same unique customer references, which are in Dynamics, so that you have to build it only once and reuse it through all the channels. That's what we call omni-channel.
The insurance industry in particular is an interesting one because of some of the sort of unique experiences the customers have with it, like you talk about in the article. Usually there's maybe the once or twice a year where you have to review your policies, and then other than that, you're often dealing with your insurer in a difficult period of time. It's something bad has happened. There's a claim that there's damage of some sort. There's a problem, and you need their help. Um, and that's really to me where things get interesting because, well, for two reasons. One, when I think insurance, I think old legacy businesses with old legacy software. And I almost, for me personally, I almost always expect that they're not going to be able to quickly understand who I am and what I need. It's going to be waiting, and there's going to be paper to fill out, or there's going to be
Mm.
headaches and unhappiness. How well are insurance businesses sort of are they receptive to this opportunity to really differentiate themselves in this way?
Yes, yes. We see we see that the industry is trying to reinvent themselves and exactly go away from this image of what you just nicely described, like the mainframe legacy. Who are you again? And what's your customer number? And that kind of creepy questions. To once you call them with your mobile number, they would figure out that you are a customer and what products you have, what's the status of your latest purchases you have done, whether there are claims or whatever is open. And yeah, it's not just ending there. You have also today a lot of Internet of Things connectivity that is used, like telemetry in the cars, if you have products that are protecting your house, sensors, or connect. So we see a lot of those things coming, but then specifically for a limited set of applications, like different insurance products, but not for all the products yet. They might even have just an app for getting the claim of a damage on your car, while you can make a video or you can take pictures, and then the pictures are used with some artificial intelligence to calculate automatically how much the repair would cost, so that they can also check the companies that they're working with, that they're making the right offer. So we see a lot of new technologies, but in point solutions instead of used overall. Yeah. So yeah, we see really the landscape is changing, and they're using this to get a better image.
One of the things that you have stressed, I suppose, that VeriPark stresses in general is, the importance of having a single architecture, and obviously that fits in with Microsoft's sort of broader vision of what what their business applications are intended to offer. Um,
Mhm.
is that something um, that you talk about with your clients? Is that always a goal when they're looking to improve customer experience, that they really want a master sort of vision of what they're going to be uh, transitioning to from maybe their current state, or is it more piecemeal?
It's typically not something they're searching for, because I think most of them don't know that this even exists. But today you see, if we go and discuss with insurance companies and we do a demo, then at the end of the demo, some of the reactions are, for example, oh, we just implemented this within a different solution and it took so much time. And while, yeah, we have it out of the box based on the same platform, it's just a tick in the box and you can have it after a few weeks of configuration. So reusing the same platform is also much more easy for the future, to configure new things so that it's omni-channel. Also, the experience for the end user is should be the same through all the platforms at the same time. And so they start seeing the benefits, but not many are implementing this yet. So most of the projects we do is let's say a step-by-step digital transformation approach. So we deliver the platform, we replace one of their line of businesses, and then step by step we take over the rest of the line of businesses with the same platform.
I'm interested in maybe understanding a little more about the history of your solutions and how they were developed. Some companies start start by sort of evolving a maybe a single customer solution or build up a few customers in an industry and evolve a solution. Other vendors, really go at it from more of a pure software development perspective. Can you talk about in what what the history is of some of your
Yeah, sure.
financial management insurance solutions?
So in fact, 20 years ago, VeriPark was a system integrator. So we integrated solutions and we did project business. So exactly what the customer wanted, we developed, we delivered, and we went to the next project. Of course, already at that moment in banking and insurance, so we also the whole history was based on industry specific knowledge, but not on building IP, packaging it with licenses, etc. That only came 10 years after the first experience, when we started to see that we were reusing some pieces of code as an accelerator. At a certain moment, we decided to say, okay, let's build this now in IP with a license program on top of it, so we can really improve our margins, and we can deliver also new features and functions to customers just by letting them pay a license subscription fee.
All right. How has sort of adoption of the cloud impacted the way you deliver your solutions to your customers, maybe over the last, 3, 5, 10 years?
Well, since financial services is a bit a very restricted area for clouds, it only started the last 2-3 years that subscription models in the cloud are really being adopted in some countries in the world, since we're a global player. So we switched along with the Microsoft way of licensing things, and now we see that the market is picking this up as well in the financial services.
Okay. Let's see. So I was thinking a little bit more about just the nature of sort of requirements definition in the in some of the things that you've written about, because you've written a couple articles for us. One was about omnichannel for insurers, and earlier in the year you wrote about omnichannel for banking projects. And can you talk any more about sort of requirements and definition and how you position a solution? Because it seems like, and I'm thinking about it in terms of thinking about the industry and the industry needs versus thinking about the technology. And you tend to see some people will talk first about about common data service or about building a power app, sort of the technology of it. Whereas you can also, one of the things I really liked was talking about things in context of the specific sort of industry needs or customer needs within that segment. Can you talk a little more about how VeriPark kind of approaches that need? Because I think it really I thought it was really impactful, just in terms of reading about it, the way it was, the way you wrote about it.
Okay. So we believe that industry specific starts with industry specific database model for the industry. So we spend a lot of time figuring out what the best database model is to be able to host corporate banking, wealth management, retail banking, insurance, all these different types of businesses, to make sure that they all can live together in a simple but complex enough data model. So in total, we added around 600 new entities on Dynamics 365 to be able to come to that solution. And once you have around 100 customers using it, at the end, it's working and it's fit for purpose. So it starts with this model. And maybe I can make a little bridge to the common data model for banking that we recently put, let's say, general available together with Microsoft. where we gave Microsoft, we gave them a part of this database model that we used in all our projects before as open source. So we gave it away to them so that this part of, let's say, the foundation of this industry can already be used by customers without buying our licenses, or by other partners to build their own solutions for this specific industry. And so that everything can work together, even if it's our solutions on top of this database model, or our other colleagues, ISV partners, or whatever the customer already did themselves. So database model is one part. Second part is the out-of-the-box processes. So in the financial services industry, we see a lot of well-known processes. And let me give one of the examples that everybody knows. You lost your bank card. Then there is a process to follow to get the new one. This is a multi-step approach. And we come with all these processes like this one, around 80 different processes we built into our solution, so that after implementing our solutions, you can still fine-tune it, but you don't have to start with a blank page. So first of all, it goes much faster for putting this in production. It's very nice to talk to customers based on an existing process and to ask them whether this is also the way they want it, instead of asking and getting 3 different answers from different persons from the same company. Then you're a bit stuck in what's the process we need to implement. So it's a database model, processes, and best practices that come to a third element, which is technology. So we see that technology is being added faster as we can adopt it ourselves. So new channels are invented every day. We are now demoing our speech banking, where you can just talk to Alexa or Siri or Louis or whatever technology you might have, and say, what's on my account? Can you wire this money to my friend? And so it's recognizing your voice. It's doing exactly the same actions as what you would do in internet banking, or through contact center banking, or through mobile banking. But it's an additional channel. While if you would approach this as totally new, then you have to reinvent a lot of things again.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. So that is certainly an interesting one. Do you think that has a real possibility, the sort of voice recognition or conversational interfaces in the financial services industry?
Yes, we definitely believe that this is going to be in the near future one of the channels we will put in production. But this is just one of the examples. Mm-hmm. We do the same with face recognition today is also happening, so that you can pay without giving a code, without signing. Just your face recognition is enough to make sure it's you. So do payments in shops, etc. Like in China, this is already in production.
Oh, interesting. Let's talk a little more about the Banking Accelerator that you touched on there as part of that answer. Was it an easy decision to collaborate with Microsoft on sharing that data model?
No, it's definitely not an easy one, because you're giving away one of your IP for free. So no, it was definitely not an easy one, but at the end we decided to do so, because it's all about a community, and it's also about thought leadership. So we want to show the rest of the world that together with Microsoft, we were recognized in delivering this model because of our 20 years of experience. And so we hope that at the end, the complex applications will still come to VeriPark, while maybe the easy ones, they don't need us. But we are specialized in the complex ones that want the whole functionality and not just 3 fields on a screen, let's say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could certainly understand that. The thought leadership aspect of it is certainly seems valuable. And to me, I was just thinking maybe another value for VeriPark is just sort of the acceptance of it or the sort of standardization of your ideas by Microsoft and sort of in this space more that what you've developed will sort of Microsoft will be mindful of it as sort of the as the channel in which you work that has some value too, perhaps that any changes that they make are going to be sort of in conjunction with the influence that you're having or the input that you're having.
Yeah, correct. But also like they're doing the same with Adobe with some other big vendors.
Mm-hmm.
And if they also click into our database model, then yeah, we can also much more out of the box integrate with all these other applications like Adobe or
Yeah. Does that get into like the Open Data Initiative? Since that
yes,
is also sort of CDM based
correct.
to an extent.
Yes,
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that
correct.
certainly makes sense. Um, and what kind of a process and timeline was it to sort of see that through
Hmm.
to the Banking Accelerator?
It was I think it started 9 months ago. 6 months ago, it started to be very let's say heavy.
Uh huh.
At a certain moment, we had every day one hour meeting every day, every
Mm.
single day. So it was quite intensive. We put two of our best people on it, and yeah, Microsoft was challenging our model. Then you had the banking buy-in industry standards that were checked across it. Then it was checked with Fiserv, with some other ISVs as well. But none of them had, let's say, that came up with the model because we already had the model. So they just challenged our model, let's say, and to see what were they keeping or what was not for this model because it was not industry specific enough and already included in another common data model from Microsoft. Okay, so it was a long discussion with demos, with reflections, and ended up with a limited list of things for phase one. But I'm sure that the next version will come soon, and one for insurance as well.
Okay. Um, and I know that this was Microsoft talked a lot. It seemed I wasn't I wasn't there, but from watching from afar, Microsoft spoke quite a bit about industry accelerators at the recent Inspire event, the worldwide partner event that they hold every July. Um,
Correct.
and can you talk any more about what the discussions were like about the banking accelerator in particular, or maybe just the overall industry program?
Well, the banking one is not the first one, and the most successful one that Microsoft has done is definitely in healthcare. And they already see a lot of results that customers downloaded the version. Other partners build solutions on top of it that can interwork now together. So it's already a successful concept. And what they now did is they made a lot of noise about two new industries, and one of the two was banking. So yeah, the path is already there for this to be downloaded and used. And we got quite some airspace at Inspire, but also around this, we wrote together with Microsoft a white paper of I think 15 pages with detailed descriptions on what the common data model for banking exactly means, because yeah, it's not just a few fields in a database model, but you get example code. You can download everything from GitHub. It's on App Source. You can test drive it there. So it's a big world just around this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I said, it starts with the database model, but then you see all the rest built around it by Microsoft and by other partners as well.
if you were to predict, do you think other partners who are seeing it now and are seeing this one, maybe seeing other accelerators, are going to take a strong interest in using it in some way?
Yeah, that's what we believe. And of course, some partners will think that it's easy to build on top of this, but others will realize that what VeriPark is offering is not even worth trying to build themselves, but just sign a partnership with VeriPark and become a partner to resell our solutions. So yeah, you will have both situations, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Sure, sure. All right, great. Anything else you're sort of looking ahead to, excited about? Is it continuing to evolve some of these existing solutions, or do you have your eye um, on new areas to focus on even further?
Well, VeriPark is working together with Microsoft, with research and development team in Redmond, to leverage all the new technologies Microsoft is adding to the platform, like all the services from Azure that we are leveraging. For example, in onboarding new customers fully digital in a way that it's compliant with like a combination of video and showing your passport in the same video, that artificial intelligence is doing all the rest to calculate the risk that the bank is taking. So we do all these things together with Microsoft. Same with development on Lewis, other Azure services, and then we have also the opportunity with Microsoft to put it in their own Redmond EBC, Executive Briefing Center, as a demo.
Mm-hmm.
So Microsoft is also challenging VeriPark a lot on what to show and what not to show to all their best enterprise customers. So that helps us to focus on, let's say, the new technology, but still in a way that this might go in production. It's not just to show off what's possible, but it's also shown in a way that we are already implementing with some of our prospects and customers.
Yeah, that's interesting. The range of interesting, but you know, definitely non-trivial technologies that you could spend time and resources working on seems like a real challenge for anyone in this space, and perhaps having some guidance or partnering with Microsoft is a real benefit there, to be selective in where you spend that attention or pay that attention.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because there's so much new things coming out every week that it's not easy to make a selection on what to focus and what to spend your money on.
Yeah, yeah. Excellent. Well, I look forward to seeing some examples of the results of some of that work. It's certainly interesting stuff, and it seems right up front with where some of these customer service or customer experience trends are going. So, thanks for talking with me today, and I look forward to seeing what's next.
All right. Thank you for having us, Jason. Talk to you soon.
My thanks to Wim Geukens for joining me today. If you have any feedback, please do reach out, jgumpert@msdynamicsworld.com. And I do recommend you check out the recent articles by Wim related to today's podcast. We'll put a link to those in the description. Until next time, this is MS Dynamics World signing off.